Oh, hello. My name's Tom Costigan, and I'm going to be your instructor for Phil 7. So this is for the class of winter 2023. We're going to be meeting January 9th through March 24th. Okay, so I have the syllabus up here. I just thought we'd go through it and make sure we're all on the same page before we go through the class. So we're going to be meeting in Gervitz 10:04, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 2 to 2:50. So look forward to seeing you guys there. As I said, my name's Tom Costigan. This is my office here in South Hall, 5706. I'll be here at my office hours, Fridays, 11 to 1. You can also email me at tcostigan@ucsb.com. So we have two TAs for this class. We have Flavio Tizzi and Tim Mainwaring. They'll let you know when their office hours are. Their sections are going to be Tuesday 6 and 7, and then p.m., and then Tim has Tuesday 8 and 9 a.m. So hopefully you guys are enjoying those ones, and their emails are also on the syllabus, so you can definitely reach out to them as well. Okay, so about this class, this is going to be Phil 7. This is an introduction to bioethics. This class is an inquiry into ethical issues surrounding medicine, biology, scientific research on humans, and yeah, just some interesting topics. So the class is going to be focused on applied ethics, which means that instead of questions about the nature of morality more generally, we're going to be looking at particular cases. Specifically, we're going to be looking at cases that are going to apply philosophic principles and critical thinking skills to cases pertaining to public health, life, death, genetic engineering, and patients' rights. So some fun topics. Look forward to getting into it with you guys. Okay, so the structure of the course is going to be a little different than normal ones. And let me scroll down here for you guys as well. So this is going to be a flipped lecture style. So as you can see, I'm going to record some videos like this. I'm going to post them online, and you're going to watch them. So instead of coming to the class to hear me lecture about the readings, what you can do is just watch me lecture about the readings at home, and then come to class ready to participate. I hope that when you are coming to class ready to participate, you take some notes. Either while watching the lectures or while doing the readings. But just come to class. We're going to be breaking up into small groups, talking about different things, coming back together, and doing some debates, open forums, that kind of stuff. So then in section, you also have, students will be learning the technical skills required to succeed in a philosophy class. So they're going to learn how to critically read philosophic texts, but also how to construct the philosophic argumentative essay that's due at the end of the quarter. And when there's time, the TAs are also going to, add in on the discussion for what's going on in that week's topic. Okay, so we also have Gauchospace. Hopefully you're well aware of that. Some of the readings are going to be posted on Gauchospace. Some of them are going to be in the book. But all of the lectures are going to be posted on Gauchospace. They're also going to be on YouTube. You can get to them either way. So the assignments are also going to be submitted on Gauchospace. So regular access to Gauchospace is critical to participating in this class. Okay. So speaking of Gauchospace, we have some required materials. So we have a brand new book. Here's my copy of it. It's Bioethics, Principles, Interventions, Issues, Cases, whatever, by Louis Vaughn. I'm asking you guys to get the new one, if you are going to get it, 2022, because there is actually a new chapter on pandemic ethics, and so we're going to go over that chapter during this class as well. So additional readings are going to be posted on Gauchospace. These are going to be more up-to-date readings on certain things. The CRISPR readings, there isn't anything on CRISPR in there. So things like that are going to be on Gauchospace. Just watch the syllabus and check out Gauchospace for those readings. Okay, so speaking of Gauchospace, there's also going to be the discussion boards. So the discussion boards are a place for everyone to be posting, any relevant material that, is relevant to the class, but from outside of the class. So, for example, like some TV shows or things like that. So there's a really great Grey's Anatomy episode about, chain donations. So that's an example that I'm going to use on the discussion boards during the organ donation week. But really, I'm thinking about anything like a TV show, a movie, a podcast, an article, last week tonight monologue, any kind of YouTube video, anything like that that seems really relevant to this class. I encourage everyone to be posting them there. And yeah, so that's also a way for people to be making up for absences. So we can get into that in a second. Just whenever you post on the discussion board, just share a little context, give a link, or somewhere the thing can be found. Okay, so the attendance policy. The attendance policy is going to be kind of strict here. So the attendance policy is that lecture and section is going to be mandatory. Attendance in lecture is mandatory. What that means is not that it's a part of your grade, not that you're going to be given anything like that, but rather that you're required to come to class. I look at this in the same way that you would think about a job or anything like that, where you're expected to be at class. But we do make up for reasonable exceptions and things like that. So, okay, let me get into the specifics of the attendance policy. So everyone is expected to attend every lecture and section. If students are unable to attend a lecture or section, then they are required to email either the lecturer or the TA and let them know, why they're missing that section. And they need to send that email before the beginning of the lecture or the section time. Okay, so for sections, you need to email the TA. For lectures, you need to be emailing me. An absence is going to be unexplained if and only if the student fails to provide that reasonable explanation before the start of class. So students are permitted 2 unexplained absences during the course of the entire semester, and that includes from lecture and section. And if students have 3 or more unexplained absences, then the highest grade that they'll be receiving in the class is going to be a C. So that's how attendance is going to be mandatory. If you don't come, if you miss 3 or more of these unexplained absences, then your grade is going to be capped at a C. Now, that might seem really strict, it might seem really unreasonable, but there are a couple of ways of making this up. First of all, we should note that unlike other classes, an explanation for missing this class is not just going to be limited to medically verifiable excuses, but rather it's going to be open to reasonable explanations. So I give a list of reasonable explanations here. So we have illness, travel delays, family emergencies, mental health issues. Things like this are totally reasonable, and we understand why you might need to take a day off or miss a lecture here or there. So unexplained or unacceptable reasons for missing a class are going to be things like I overslept, or I completely forgot, or I was hungover. You know when these classes are, it's the same time every week, so you shouldn't be surprised by that. You shouldn't go out drinking the night before if you don't think you're going to be able to make it to our 2 p.m. class. So yeah, if we will totally be open to all these reasonable reasons for missing a class. But yeah, again, if you just do oversleep or you do get caught up, you have 2 completely unexcused absences that you can use. After the 3rd one, that's when it's going to be an issue. Okay, so let's say you do miss a couple, things really happen, you aren't able to get to us in time, your life's falling apart, that's okay. Just honestly come and schedule a meeting with us. So we have some other alternatives for making up absences. So if you miss an absence, if you don't email us ahead of time, then you need to make up that absence. So one way of making up that absence is coming to our office hours. So if you miss a lecture, come to my office hours. If you miss section, go to your TA's office hours. And really just find out what you missed in class. Have a little bit of discussion with the teacher or the TA, and yeah, that will completely make up for a missed absence. But those are going to be limited to within a week of missing the absence. So, if you missed, Wednesday of week 4, you can only come to my office hours that following Friday, right? The week after that, that's a week and a half, and so you're going to have to do the other makeup alternative. So the other makeup alternative is going to be available all the way until the end of the quarter. By the end of the quarter, I mean until the final paper is due. So the way this one is going to work is the second makeup alternative is to write an essay and submit it on the discussion boards. That's the discussion board that we were talking about earlier. So as I was saying, I'm going to already post some material on the discussion boards that are relevant to the class topics that week. And so you can choose from one of those. You can add your own, but just write a 200 or 300 word essay, explaining how it's relevant to the class, explaining what you learned, something like that. Okay, so so for example, if you missed a section during week 4, then you need to write an essay on the material from the discussion board pertaining to that week's topic, which I'm pretty sure is going to be abortion. The makeup essay will be accepted until the time of the final, which is going to be 7 p.m. on March 20th. And to be when you submit one of these, make sure that the date that you are making up for the absence is available, like it's clear on the submission sheet there. Okay, so that's the attendance policy, that's the makeup policy. Hopefully it's clear to everyone. Hopefully it's fair. I'm trying to, encourage everyone to be in class. I don't think I'm expecting too much of you guys. I think it's what your work and your future expectations are going to be there. Literally, the expectation is show up. I'm hoping that you're prepared. I'm wanting you guys to watch the lectures. I'm wanting you to do the readings, but the very bare minimum that you have to do to pass this class is to be there. Okay, so if that's going to be an issue for you for this quarter, then I suggest that you make arrangements or probably look for another class. Okay, so let's move on. We got the schedule here. So on the syllabus, you can see pretty much each week is mapped out. We got 2 holidays. We got Martin Luther King Day on January 16th and President's Day on February 20th. Other than that, we're going to have class Monday through Friday, 2 to 2:50 in Gerbitz 10:04. Okay, so that's the big lecture hall right next to the arbor right here. So make sure you guys get there. So the first week, we're just going to go over the syllabus. We're going to talk about, Chapter 1, basic bioethical principles. Chapter 2 is going to be theories. So these are going to be like general overviews and giving you context for framing for how to think about the rest of the topics. So the rest of the topics, week 2, we're going to do the healthcare system and the opioid crisis. Week 3, we're going to do human research. Week 4, we're going to do abortion. Week 5, we're going to do organ transplants. And week 6, we're going to do CRISPR. Week 7, we're going to do patients' rights. Week 8, we're going to do death and euthanasia. Week 9, we're going to do public health and vaccines. And then we're going to start a poll on Gauchospace. And probably around week 7 or so, we're going to have decided what topic we're going to do for week 10. There is reproductive technologies. There's truth-telling and confidentiality. There's a few other topics we could do from the textbook. We could also do race and medicine. And then last year when we did this class, I did a Q&A with a bunch of my medical friends. And so that was a lot of fun, and maybe we'll have that open as another option again this year. Okay, so then finals week, as you can see down here, your final paper is going to be due Monday, March 20th by 7 p.m. This is the time the university has officially assigned for us to have our finals, so that's just the time that we've chosen. This just really gives your TAs enough time to grade your papers before all the grades are due and everything like that. So make sure you get it in on time, but like everything else, if something crazy happens, we will work with you and try and get you a reasonable extension. So, all right. So speaking of the term paper, that is going to be one of the 2 main assignments in the class. It's going to be half of your grade. It's going to be due Monday, March 20th at 7 p.m. This is going to be a 1,200 to 1,600 word argumentative essay on the bioethics topic of the student choosing. So this is going to be a progressive assignment, meaning that the students are going to progressively build their essay throughout the quarter. So this is going to happen in a series of steps. So step 1 is going to be 5% of the grade. This is just going to be a thesis statement. This is going to be due Wednesday of week 7. This is February 22nd. You're going to submit it on Gauchospace, and your TAs are going to give you a little bit of feedback. Okay, then step 2 is another 5% of your grade. This is going to be 400 to 600 words. It could be an outline of your paper. It could be a main section that you want to write, just get some feedback on. So again, submit it on Gauchospace. This is going to be the Monday of week 8. So this is February 27th. Again on Gauchospace. So then step 3 is going to be due Wednesday or Monday, week 9. So this is March 6th. And that is going to be due on Gauchospace, again, for more comments. So you should be revising your paper based on the comments from the previous drafts from your TAs, incorporating that, and then submitting a 900 to 1,100 word essay. Okay, so that's step 3. Step 4 is going to be the final term paper. So this is going to be 35% of your overall grade. And you need to just turn in your term paper. This should be responding to your TA's comments and all of that stuff. You should be submitting it on Gauchospace on March 20th at 7 p.m. Okay, so steps 1 through 3 are going to be graded on completion. And late assignments for these will be accepted until the evening before the following step. So for step 1, with the thesis statements, they're due on the 22nd of February. Late thesis statements will be accepted until the 26th of February because on the 27th is when the next step is due. The reason for this is we can't give you any feedback on a thesis statement if you've just submitted 400 words. So hopefully your thesis statement is clear from those 400 words. So for this to be a progressive assignment, you need to complete that ahead of time. Okay, so that's going to be steps 1 through 3 are going to be graded on completion. The 4th step, your final term paper, is going to be graded on a traditional 10-point grading scale. So that's this down here. The 90 to or 93 to an A is 100. 90 to 92.9 is going to be an A minus, and so on and so forth all the way down. Okay, so the other half of your grade is going to be these weekly reflections. So before you start reading on a topic or watching the lectures, you're encouraged to reflect on your preconceived notions about a topic. So these are supposed to be open-ended assignments, but generally students are expected to think about things of the topic that they might not have been familiar with beforehand, and just reflect on them. So some of the topics might be very unfamiliar to a lot of you, and so for guidance I'm going to put some questions on Gauchospace to help you think about them. But yeah, so these should be about 200 to 300 words. You are expected to post them on Gauchospace, and so these are going to be due the Friday before. So these are pre-reflections. So I want you to be reflecting on them before you actually start reading the readings, watching the videos. So if you do, it's fine if you jump ahead and start going forward, but before you jump into one of those weeks and topics, I want you to post or submit your pre-reflection on Gauchospace. Okay? These are going to be graded as either pass or revise and resubmit. A pass just means that you wrote on the relevant topics. We're not going to be grading you based on any content here. So these are your reflections, these are your thoughts. This really just helps us give an understanding of where you're coming from, so that way we can help teach you a little bit better. But it also gives you like a benchmark to think about where you're coming from with some of these topics. Okay. The other option is, so you pass, you wrote on the relevant topic. The other option is revise and resubmit. This is pretty simple. It means that you wrote on the wrong topic. So maybe you were writing, maybe you misunderstood the assignment, maybe you misread the syllabus, but you just literally wrote on the wrong topic. So you get a revise and resubmit. Revise and resubmits are going to be accepted like the makeup assignments until the last day of the final, so March 20th at 7 p.m. And so when we are doing these pre-reflections, or when you miss a pre-reflection, or you need to do a revise and resubmit, then it should be a post-reflection, right? Because obviously you've gone through the material, so it should be, instead of like, what were my preconceptions, or what are my preconceptions, it should be a question of, what did I learn through, going through the class, or watching the lectures, or anything like that? What was maybe surprising? Something like that would be good for a post-reflection. Okay. So last page here of the syllabus just outlines exactly what it means for the grades. So an A is showing excellent understanding the material, but then also having a clear ability to write philosophically. There's no problems, no issues. Their arguments and things are well reasoned and supported. So then a B is going to be more than satisfactory performance, but might have a couple of shortcomings, or maybe it has like a major shortcoming. But yeah, just clearly an understanding of the material and an ability to write philosophically. That's a B material in this class. C material is satisfactory performance and fulfills the most basic assignment. A D is going to be assigned to unsatisfactory performance with some evidence that something's been learned. So you're kind of on topic, but you're really, really off, or you're completely mischaracterizing someone's argument or something like that. That would be a D paper. An F paper is just really bad work. I don't want to give out Fs, so don't do that. Do good work. Show up on time. Listen to your TAs. All that stuff. So then under that, we got some links here to help you learn how to write a philosophy paper. I imagine this is some people's first time writing a philosophy paper. So here's some outside resources. One's from North Carolina. One's from Harvard. One's from University of San Francisco, I think, and then the other one is just a philosopher who gives good advice. I like his paper, Jim Pryor's article. Okay, so plagiarism is last topic. Well, no, two more topics. So plagiarism is an assault on the basic academic integrity of the university. So cheating, plagiarism, or collusion are serious acts that are going to erode the university's educational role and debase the learning experience, not only for the people who are cheating, but also for the entire community. So what this means is that, if cheating seems to be pervasive on the campus, then, people are going to think, even people who weren't cheating were probably getting a leg up or something like that. And so their grades aren't really as meaningful as they used to be. So the meaning of your degree, it could be hurt by someone next to you cheating. And so, I take this very seriously. I want my degree to matter as much as it possibly can. So material, written or otherwise, submitted to fulfill academic requirements must represent the student's own efforts. Any act of academic dishonesty or attempts by any UCSB students to cheat is completely unacceptable and will not be tolerated. As I said, I'm a grad student here, so I'm getting my degree from here, so I want my degree to have as much meaning as possible, which means that I need to stop as much cheating or collusion or plagiarism as I possibly can. So it's in my interest, it's in your interest, it's in everyone here's interest to not be cheating. Okay, so to be clear, that doesn't mean I don't want you to be talking with others, looking over each other's papers, giving each other feedback, things like that. Working together, absolutely acceptable. But when you are submitting your work, I think we all know what it means for it to be your work versus someone else's work. And so, just hold yourself to a high degree of integrity, and that's what I expect of all of you as well. Okay. So finally, students with disabilities, I try to make this class incredibly accommodating, but if there's still something that you need help with, let me know. If you haven't already, make sure to go to the Student Resource Building and talk to the Disabled Students Program. They're in the SRB 2120. Just go there as soon as you possibly can, because it does take a little bit of time to register with them and to get all set up. But yes, if any accommodation needs come up, anything like that, just absolutely let me know, and we'd love to work with you. Okay, so that's going to be the syllabus. That is going to be Phil 7, Bioethics, winter of 2023. I look forward to seeing you all in class.